Shout out.
We live in Hunters County.
We live in the Hunter Hancock County. Hopefully he sponsors. That'd be so cool if we get like a Meat Cane sponsorship.
That'd be so cool.
I don't think he makes enough to sponsor anybody, but
Which is surprising. Hunter Hancock, if you're watching this, please draw us.
please, that'd be cool because we love you very much.
Oh, we look like in a meat canning video.
Dude, he would draw your face so like.
Dude, we would. It would be like he would make me a circle and he'd make you like a stick. I feel like
I think so. I think I'd grossly like have my joints out and stuff. Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it.
like your knee, you'd be a stick and your knees would like go out.
Just overextended.
What was that one Will Smith movie or Will Ferrell movie? Welcome to the Best Italian.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Foltz,
I am the co-host, Chris Cortez.
also a host of the podcast. Shout out Chris Cortez. You guys can find us on social media at now it's CF25cent. I have deleted Twitter for the third time now, and hopefully it stays that way. You can find him at
C. Cortez 50, I believe.
Shout out. So this podcast is kicking off summer. As of recording, I literally just took my last exam about an hour ago, and we decided we wanted to talk about the NFL draft because we were both very avid lovers of football,
Yeah.
the American kind, not the European kind.
No.
No.
That's soccer, Caleb.
That's soccer, Caleb. Anyways, so we're going to be talking about the first round and just kind of like our thoughts on like how we think their careers are going to play out. We're going to start off with how I think we're going to do like how they're going to do the next season, like this upcoming season. But then we're going to talk about like how we think their career is going to play out, and we'll bring in stats. We'll bring in the pre-draft analysis, post-draft analysis. I got ESPN pulled up right in front of me. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes and see where this video takes us. So, starting off the 2024 NFL Draft. It ended last weekend? It was last weekend?
Yeah, last Sunday, I believe. Last Saturday.
Actually, before we get started, I want to shout out a guy I play with at Mount Union, Wayne Ruby. He didn't get drafted, but he got signed to the Jaguars as a UDFA. He's getting an opportunity. I'm really happy for him. He is from Florida, so he gets to stay in his home state. Really excited for him. And all the D3 guys that got opportunities in the NFL, congratulations. I saw some guys from Sunny Cortland and some other areas as well. So congratulations to all D3 football players, because I am a D3 football educator kind of guy on my YouTube channel. Shout out CF3. But, yeah, man, congratulate all D3 players that got drafted or got opportunities as a UDFA.
Good for you guys. Not many people make it this far.
Absolutely. Did you see? I know it's a little. I know we just said we're gonna get started, but we're not gonna get started. Did you see the BJ West guy that got signed to the Broncos? He's 5'8", 140 pounds.
Yeah.
-6 receiving yards, but he had like a bunch of like really good kick returns.
Yeah, they liked his speed a lot.
6-year senior. Oh, there's a bug here. There's a bug in the man hut. So yeah, we gotta clean this bad boy out. So, but yeah, it's not weird though. 5'8", 142 pounds. Got an opportunity. He got signed to the Broncos, and 12 hours later got cut. He already got cut.
He must have said something that they didn't like.
But also, you're 5'8", 140 pounds, and
why would you sign him? Then just to cut him a day later.
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, it's like he was also a 6-year senior. Did you know that? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
6-year senior, -5 receiving yards, but had a couple, actually quite a few good kick returns. So really a special teams guy. And I saw the argument was with the whole new NFL kickoff rule, they're taking the XFL rule, how the one line. Well, and there's apparently it's like a 40% chance that every kickoff can get housed now, and so it's gonna be more exciting, more entertaining. I mean, having him in the backfield, but think about it. There's all these massive players blocking for him, and just little 5'8", 100, nobody could see him.
Yeah.
That was the annoying thing about playing for small town football is some of the running backs we had were quite small and couldn't see past our line.
I actually saw Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be trying Justin Fields at kick returner.
I saw that. Was that true, you think?
It could be. I think it's possible in preseason. People do weird stuff, but I don't think that's gonna be a reality when it comes regular season time.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Anyways, let's get started. First round of the draft. With the first pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, USC.
6'1", 214 pounds.
That's a good size. I mean, a little bit small, but it is a good size QB, at least in the weight category. I wouldn't be mad if my QB was 215.
I'll give him an A.
You're gonna give him an A?
I give him an A. And A plus. I'll give him an A plus. That's you can't really pick anybody else in that QB room.
Absolutely. I don't think there was a better quarterback to pick, that played as well. Like, there's an argument, like, I saw some stuff on Reddit and some other things. Like, there's an argument that, like, why not J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix because they made it to the national championship, stuff like that. But J.J. McCarthy came from a really run-heavy offense with an amazing running back. And Michael Penix, well, he's old. And
he's 24.
And he did carry that Washington squad, but they also had a really talented receiver. Actually, didn't he go to the Bears too?
Yep.
We'll get into him later. But yeah,
Caleb Williams won a Heisman 2 seasons ago as well.
And that's what I wanted to bring up. Caleb Williams, I feel like he like had his rise, and then like his senior year was kind of a little bit of a downfall.
I think that was just media spewing stuff because they wanted to see him fail, and then it didn't help that. Yeah, was it Oregon that he cried after? He cried in his mom's arms. People were like, oh, he's not mentally there because he was crying in his mom's arms. But I don't know. I don't really look that deep into it. For me, it's like he can play, and he's proven that he can play.
Yeah, I mean,
some of the stats in that game.
Well, some of the throws that he made, though. Like, I was watching some of his highlights because they post them obviously after he got drafted. And, dude, some of the throws that he made across his body, across the field. And also, that USC playbook, I like it. Some of those USC plays that coach ran, loved it.
I think they could have been a serious playoff team, but they had no defense, and I believe they fired their defensive coordinator. That's how their defense was among the worst in college football.
Dang, I mean that sets teams apart, man.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean the pre-draft analysis for Caleb Williams was elite arm talent, strength, ability to pick defenses apart from within the pocket, but also outside the pocket. In my opinion, he was a really great quarterback outside the pocket. I mean, he could really improvise and he could run. Love it.
I think he's your prototypical new era NFL quarterback.
Absolutely. But I was actually gonna bring this up. It says right here, patient pocket passer. I think he is patient because he would sit in that pocket, but when he got out, it was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
He always made plays. But there's a QB later that we're gonna bring up that I think is better at sitting in the pocket and find that room to run. Kind of reminds me of Lamar Jackson, but we'll talk about him in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we kind of butchered that enough, right? I feel like we've kind of stomped it out, Caleb Williams. Moving on.
Career stipulations.
Facts.
I think he's going to be elite, and I think he's going to be the best Bears QB of all time because the Bears don't have a lot of great QBs in their history.
Wow.
So I think he's going to be the greatest Bears QB of all time. You heard it first.
Just by default because there's no good QBs?
I already think he's already the greatest Bears QB of all time.
Wow. Justin Fields?
No, he's better than Justin Fields.
You know what?
Justin Fields went to a horrible team. The Bears are not a horrible team now. A lot of, from my perspective, a lot of mistakes teams do is they're horrible and they draft good QBs, but they don't have a team to sustain the QBs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised C.J. Stroud's where he's at because when the Texans got him, they were horrible.
Absolutely were. Yeah, for me, I don't think he's going to be the greatest of all time for the Bears, but I think he could be really good if he stays out of his own head, because it's like even in like the press conferences and I guess the way the media portrayed him, he comes off as a guy that's in his own head a lot. And so I think if he can lock in and carry himself like a professional, he could have a really solid career. I think he could have a long tenure. But what I really think though, hot take, I think he'll be the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he'll be the next like journeyman QB.
Yeah, I guess time will tell. We'll see.
Time will tell.
But I think he's also going to be Rookie of the Year this year.
Wow, that's another bold take.
Yep.
With the Bears. You think he's going to be the rookie of the Year with the Bears?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Okay.
Him or a later pick. Going to be the top two.
Okay. All right, moving on to the second pick of the draft.
With the second pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, The Washington Commanders take Jaden Daniels, LSU.
LSU.
6'3",
Go
210 pounds.
Go Tigers. 6'4", 210 pounds. This guy is electric, and he was my favorite player in the draft besides my Mount Union teammate. But this guy, I love watching his highlights. He did great things at LSU. I think he's going to have a great career with the Commanders. I hope he brings them back, bro. Honestly, I see another RG3 out of him. I see an RG3 comeback kind of thing. Like, I see an RG3 kind of system, him running the ball. I think this is like a reincarnated RG3, but RG3's not dead, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I see.
No, I have to agree with you on that. I was just about to get on, like, saying, like, I think he's going to be RG3, but better without the injuries. I don't, to my knowledge, he doesn't have an extensive injury history like RG3 did, but I think he's going to be RG3 if RG3 never got hurt.
So Jaden Daniels,
I love this kid.
Dude, I love him too. But Jaden Daniels, he was at Arizona, right? Arizona State, or was it Arizona? It was Arizona State.
Before he got to LSU?
Yeah, he was at Arizona State. And then I know a video went viral of him when he entered the transfer portal and committed to LSU. His entire team, like, trashed his locker and took all his stuff.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and it was Arizona State because it was like, it's like the Sun Devils, right, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he played for them, and then went transferred to LSU and balled out. So that was really cool to see him, because everybody was kind of wishing on his downfall.
He's your reigning Heisman winner, too.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. Thanks for bringing it up. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The pre-draft analysis, only player in FBS history to pass for 12,000 yards and rush for 3,000 yards. Gets
per
the ball.
ESPN.
Yeah. Sorry, my fault.
Oh, you're good.
He gets the ball out quickly when he likes the pre-snap look, gets through his progressions given time, and flashes great anticipation throwing out over the middle. See, like, I didn't really like watching his throwing highlights. I mean, he could throw the ball well, but for me, it was his pocket presence and his escapability out of the pocket when the pocket did collapse. That was my favorite thing to watch about this guy. I mean, he doesn't panic. He keeps his eyes downfield, but he can just run if he needs to. I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a great season. I think he's going to have the second best quarterback season behind Caleb Williams. And I believe he'll finish second or third in Rookie of the Year voting. Career-wise for him, I see him playing out like RG3. And honestly, is he better? Is he going to be the best Commanders QB of all time? Washington QB of all time? I think he'll be top 3.
Really?
I think he'll be top 3.
Man, you're just thinking these guys are going to have long careers.
Oh, It's just these two QBs. I just love both of these QBs in this draft. Just those two though. We'll get to the other ones later. But Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to be top 3 Washington QB of all time, and I think he's going to have a long-lasting career. And I could see him in Canton someday.
Yeah. And also, just shout out the Commanders for a great pick, because, like, I mean, this is like the next best pick after Caleb Williams got drafted. I mean, this is like, in my opinion, like this was the right order.
Yeah. I think picking number 2, depending on who's in the draft, is kind of like the best pick in the draft, because number 1, you have all this pressure to make the right pick. Number 2, you just sit back and you take who wasn't picked. You can't go wrong with pick number 2, or you just pick the best, or you just pick the best player available.
I absolutely agree with that. Moving on to the third pick of the draft. There's a lot of picks here, so we have to move quickly for time's sake.
Yes.
So Drake May, drafted by the Patriots, third pick out of North Carolina. I loved Drake May.
6'4", 223, by the way.
223. That's a big boy. Jaden Daniels is what? 210 at 6'4"? Yeah. So this guy has 13 pounds on Jaden Daniels, and he looks it too. He looks like a big old white QB. I mean, I only saw Drake May's highlights probably his sophomore junior season. I didn't really watch much of his highlights from this last season. But hot take right now, Drake May's NFL career, I think he's going to fizzle out after this season. I don't think he's going to have a lot of NFL success. And that's just my hot take.
I have to agree. I think he's going to be a bust. I don't even think he's going to be good this year.
Yeah.
Out of all the QBs, he'll be the one that people bet on. They'll bet on him, I guess, the longest time because he's the one with the least amount of weapons. So they're going to give him the most time. But
exactly.
I think he's a huge bust.
I just don't think, also coming out of UNC, I just don't think they produce NFL players like
Mitch
like
Trubisky, Sam Howell, now Drake May. It's not looking good. Bust written all over it. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Jets fan and I hate the Patriots.
I am. I went to a Jets game one time, and now I'm whatever. All right, moving on. Sorry, Drake May, but I do love your college highlights. I do. They're fun to watch, and I know someone we went to high school with that wouldn't stop posting them. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Okay. With the 4th pick out of Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. We, as people that live in Ohio, me and Chris, we love this pick. What a great pick! I'm seeing a little Larry Fitz, a little younger Larry Fitz.
I think he's the best player in the draft,
dude. It's not even close. I mean, you can just tell he's an elite talent. I mean, he dominated. If he had a serious quarterback this last season, I mean, shout out Colin Cord, sorry my guy, but if he had Caleb Williams thrown to him, oh my, it'd been over. It just sucks that he didn't have a talented quarterback thrown to him. But like Marvin Harrison is that guy. He is him. I see Marvin Harrison playing 12 seasons, 13 seasons. I see him being a long time. I see him being a franchise receiver for the Cardinals. I see Larry Fitz written all over.
I could see him playing 20 years.
You think
I
some
could
Jerry
see him-
Rice?
I honestly think if he sticks with it and he doesn't get hurt, I think he could be the greatest receiver of all time.
He wasn't very
I do.
injury prone at Ohio State, was he? He wasn't very injury prone.
Nope.
I think he's at a point though where I think the Cardinals are going to force feed him the ball, especially in the pass game, and it might come to a point where it might ruin his career. That's I guess you can say it's a hot take as well. But if teams use him right, he could really be something special. Now, can Kyler Murray sling that ball to him? Is a
Can
real
he
question.
not get hurt?
That's another good point. Yeah.
But I think it'll be between Harrison and Williams for rookie of the year.
And another thing, I don't think any corner in the league right now can cover Marvin Harrison one-on-one.
No.
I'm going to take that right now. I don't think anyone. Jalen Ramsey, nope. Darius Slay, nope. That white corner coming out of Iowa, nope. like, no. I don't think anyone can cover Marvin Harrison in the league right now. I think he's going to stun the league ASAP.
It'll be between him and Justin Jefferson for the 2 best receivers this year.
I kind of see him. I'm a Bengals fan, so I kind of see him like a Jamar Chase. Like I think he's just gonna come and be explosive and help out his team right away. That's kind of how I see it.
Hopefully not mirroring Jamar Chase career-wise because he kind of faded this year.
Yeah. Well, in preseason, his first rookie year sucked so bad. I was so worried in preseason.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the 5th pick. Chargers select Joe Alt, Notre Dame, offensive tackle, 6'9", 321 pounds.
Typical Jim Harbaugh pick because a lot of people wanted them to get a receiver because they lost. Oh, who was it? Who was their best receiver? I can't remember.
Oh, come on. Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen, yep. They traded him away to Chicago, and
there's a lot of talk right now that they're really trying to build a run-heavy team.
Yeah,
like that was it. That was something I saw immediately after this pick.
And plus, they wanted the media wanted them to get somebody for Herbert to throw to. But as a Jets fan, I've seen what horrible offensive lines can do with a great QB. Aaron Rodgers lasted just about 1-2 minutes. So I
I'll
think
give him 3 seconds.
Yeah, I think this Joe Alt pick was the perfect pick, and I think Joe Alt's going to be in the league for at least a decade.
Yeah, I think he'll be a long-lasting lineman. Well, depends how the Chargers use him. If they do a run-heavy team, they might beat up his body a little bit too much. But being 6'9", 321 pounds. Now, the thing you do question is Notre Dame's competition and who they are playing, and that's, I kind of see his highlights for that, like, did they play good competition to actually, will he translate to the NFL, because if he's just dominating little D linemen.
Yeah, we'll see. The last dominant offensive lineman to come to Notre Dame was Quentin Nelson. He's had a pretty great career so far with the Colts.
Nice. All right, moving on to the 6th pick. Malik Neighbors. Is it Neighbors?
Yeah.
LSU. I love this pick. He is I honestly think he's probably the 2nd best receiver. I saw this guy. He's nowhere near Marvin Harrison, but I think this guy has a chance for some serious success. He's an all-time leader in receptions at LSU and receiving yards, which is crazy because think of all that receiver talent that came out of LSU. So much, especially in the last, 3 seasons, I would
And
even
he
say.
had more yards this past year than Harrison did.
Crazy. Well, I mean, at the same time, he had Jane Daniels thrown to him versus.
Yeah.
So you can't really compare that.
I'd have to give the Giants an A on this pick.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have went wrong. They need someone that Daniel Jones can throw to so you can correctly evaluate him.
I'm not going to lie. I think the Giants need, everything, so they couldn't go wrong with any pick. I don't think they could go wrong with anything.
Career stipulations for Malik Neighbors. I think this year, he's going to have 800 yards, 800 to 900 yards this year, but I think he's going to have a long-lasting career in New York City. and I could see him playing for a decade.
Yeah.
I'd say probably after 6-7 years he'll probably go to a different team, but I think he's gonna have a long lasting.
I'm gonna give him 3 seasons for the Giants because the Giants
3 seasons with the Giants.
just because the Giants franchise is all over the place and they're constantly going from we're gonna keep working on our talent that we got to rebuilding, and they've been all over the place. I'd say even the last 5 seasons, with ever since Eli Manning kind of retired, I would say like they just kind of been all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Malik could be really solid. I think he really could be, but it kind of just depends on what the Giants do with him. Because I mean, he could be receiver number 2 or receiver number 1 coming right into.
I think he's gonna be receiver number 1.
Who's still on? They still have that solid receiver. It's not Victor Cruz, is it? But is it who's the other?
Galladay. He's horrible.
No, the other one, the other older guy. Is he
Sterling
gone?
Shepard.
Yeah, is he gone?
He's retired.
Really?
Yeah, he's been gone.
Well, forget my takes. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, the Giants need this, and that's why I say he'll at least be on the team for 6-7 years.
Love it. All right, Chris, you can announce the next pick.
With the 7th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select J.C. Latham, Alabama. I give this one an A.
Dude, this guy and his highlights, insane. This guy was all over my feed as soon as he got picked, and like his humble celebration with his family was amazing. I love this call that they had with him.
A little shorter, 5'6" for an offensive tackle.
6'6" is over here, 6'6", 342 on my end.
I'm looking. Well, you're looking at ESPN, so I trust that a little more. But even then, it's a little shorter. But look at the teams he's played against. Look at the guys he's blocked.
That's very
coming
true.
out of the SEC.
SEC, I mean, SEC football is the best, the closest you're gonna get to the NFL. So I mean, this guy, if this guy's playing at this high of a level, I have no doubt he'll have a great career. I don't think linemen because there's always a discussion like skilled players and QBs coming out of Alabama never really really pay out in the NFL or pan out. I mean, I'm sorry, but like defensive guys and like linemen, is there a stigma there, Chris? Do you know?
Definitely linemen and linebackers. I'd say Alabama pumps out pretty good players all around. Outside of QBs, Alabama pumps out pretty good players. Alex Leatherwood, I think, was the last offensive tackle to be taken from Alabama. He was horrendous, but people knew he was horrendous coming out of college. This one, I think this was the best pick they could have gotten outside of the big guy from Penn State we're going to be getting to in a little bit.
Love it. I mean, so I'm going to give this guy – I'm going to say he has 5 solid years in the league. I'm going to give him that.
I'll give him 7. Give him 7 good years in the league.
In Tennessee, I mean – they always have a solid offense, to kind of a run-heavy offense, big and strong linemen.
Finally got a QB in Will Levis. I absolutely love Will Levis, and I think they're going to be really good this season.
Now, I will say, with Tennessee's offense, will he fit in as a smaller lineman?
I'd say so, because I think with Will Levis, they definitely have a passing game now. So just as a smaller lineman, you don't really – with a passing offense, you don't need the road graders you would as in like a run-heavy offense where you need these big 6'8", 6'9" guys just bowling people over every single down.
Okay. Chris, I'm gonna let you announce this next pick because it's so controversial, and I just need you to announce it. Yeah. I think you need to just give like your take first.
I give this pick, by the way, a B+ for J.C. Latham. forgot to have been giving letter grades.
Oh,
we'll start that now. Atlanta with the 8th pick of the 2024 draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr., QB out of Washington.
I don't know how to feel about this pick, man. I agree.
Hate this pick.
I like it and I don't like it at the same time. But I need go ahead and explain your bargaining.
There's definitely arguments for, because this is stuff. I look at this pick like when the Packers picked Jordan Love out of Utah State, giving a young QB that was pretty good in college, giving him 4 or 5 years to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, and I think this is what they're doing, sitting behind Kirk Cousins. But they're giving Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed.
Oh, Lord.
And for 5 years. So Michael Penix, he's 24 years old. He's going to be sitting 5 years, or at least 3 years, 3 or 4 years behind Kirk Cousins. Let's say 3, 4 years. He's going to be 27, 28 years old when he's first starting. And there's more drafts coming. They could have picked somebody for Kirk, a lineman, somebody on defense, but they picked a QB. But I love Michael Penix as a player. I think he's a great player. I think he's a heck of an athlete.
Exactly.
He's definitely the best passer in the draft, I believe. Exactly. I think he's the best passer, but his injury.
I love the way he throws a ball.
Yeah, his injury history is not the best.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't know. This pick, I'm going to give it an F because they could have picked somebody more contributing to now because they're in win now mode because they're in a winnable division.
I'm gonna give it a D plus. I'm gonna say I 80% hate this pick, 20% like it because it's paid off in the past. I mean, not that, well, I hope it pays off in the future, but I'm saying it paid off in the past.
With
Brett
Jordan
Favre,
Love.
Aaron Rodgers,
Yep.
Jordan Love. There was like 2 more examples I had for this podcast, and I can't think of them. But there has been like 3 or 4 occasions where this has happened, and it paid off all 4 times.
Yeah.
That I could find. Dang it! I sound like a loser not knowing the other 3. Shoot, I literally had it down.
Those are the only ones that came to mind with me.
And there was other teams that did it too. The Broncos did it, didn't it?
That didn't work out. Broncos horrible at drafting QBs.
Yeah. Well, those are the examples that we had. That's why I 20% like the pick because who knows, it might pay off.
You never know.
You know,
give him time.
let him sit behind Kirk, develop. But Malik, what do I say Malik for? Michael Penix and Kirk don't have similar playing styles, so like I don't know how that's gonna work in terms of like coaching because they're definitely 2 different kind of styles of quarterbacks.
And who knows? The last time the Falcons picked a QB named Michael, paid off.
Shout out. Is that Michael Vick II?
That is Michael Vick.
Low key is. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a D. I'm gonna D plus, and I think Michael Penix, he's gonna be a lifelong backup in the league because of the situation he got drafted into. Yep. Unless Kirk gets hurt next season or 2, and he has to come in and he makes some crazy plays, he's gonna be a lifelong backup in the league.
I think he's gonna be a journeyman. I think he's gonna be, who's the current backup, or not really the current backup, but he's gonna be like the backup QB for the Ravens. They've had the past 2 years. I don't think he's on the Ravens anymore, but whoever that is.
Tyler Huntley?
Tyler Huntley. I think he's going to have a career exactly like Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley is good. He's behind Lamar Jackson. So
great backup. I think Michael Penix is going to be a great backup.
Absolutely. All right, with the 9th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Rome
Odunze
out of Washington. So 2 back-to-back Washington players out of the draft. That must have been fun and exciting for both of those guys.
A+.
Love this pick. This guy is probably, I'm going to say, the most explosive receiver in the draft.
No, I think he's the 3rd most explosive behind Neighbors and Harrison. Odunze is good. They couldn't have gone. They couldn't have gone any other.
We got to argue this right now.
What?
Rome is explosive. Malik and Marvin are both like technically fundamental receivers, and Marvin is just a talented athlete. Rome is explosive. He is crazy off the line, out of his routes, out of his breaks. This man, he does have fundamentals and technique, obviously, because he drafted in the 1st round. But I'm saying this guy, for being 6'3", 212 pounds, he is the most explosive receiver in the draft.
Maybe speed-wise. I don't know his 40 numbers, but he's not on the level of Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison took over games.
Well, because I think Marvin Harrison is just the all-around elite athlete. I just think Rome is just crazy explosive. You can be a crazy athlete, but I think Rome is just crazy explosive.
Like speed-wise? Or?
No, I'm saying like off the line, out of his breaks. I mean, when he runs with his deep ball, no one's going to beat him on a deep ball if he just strides out. You know what I'm saying?
Guess I'll have to watch more tape on him. I don't know.
We're just podcasters, guys, man. We're not NFL scouts.
But I don't think they could have picked anybody else better at this number 9 pick.
A+.
I think he's going to be. Points. I think he's going to have a great decade on the Bears, and I think this puts the Bears in a position to win the NFC North because they're going to have Caleb Williams throwing the ball. They have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, now Rome Odunze, and somebody else that I can't remember. And they have that tight end they got from Notre Dame.
Well, you know what's great too?
Cole Kmet.
What's great is Rome Odunze. He played on the outside and the slot. So with having DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, Rome can just fit in the offense wherever because he has experience in the outside and slot. So like he is the perfect something tool. Swiss Army knife, I guess you could say, or
I think they should put him in the slot. Nobody's going to cover him in the slot.
6'3", 212 in the slot would be crazy too. Having that big of a receiver in the slot.
And they've got DeAndre Swift come out of the backfield after this offseason.
Oh,
I think
that
the Bears
team's gonna be crazy.
They're gonna finish second behind the Lions in the NFC North. I think they make the playoffs though.
They have a chance to go on a run, but I think they need this year to like get experience under themselves. You know.
We'll see.
With the 10th pick, the Vikings select J.J. McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan. Guys, we got to switch the order to keep entertaining. 6'3", 219. JJ McCarthy. I mean, this guy has always been in question. You
C+.
know, because like he was a quarterback that was in a great system, great coach, and very run heavy. But when he did have to throw the football, he did it well.
I don't know.
You don't think he threw it
From
well?
when I've seen, he makes the throws that he needs to, but I've been to games where I've watched this kid at Michigan in person. The one I went to the Bowling Green game. This kid threw 3 or 4 picks, and these throws were just horrendous.
Against Bowling Green?
Yeah.
Okay.
These
Wow.
throws were just horrendously bad, and he just bad turnovers, bad throws. That I don't know. I hope he succeeds, but he just with Michigan's offense that he was running with, now he's going to be in the Vikings. I don't think it's there. I don't think it's going to work out. He's just I could be wrong. He could prove me wrong, but this from the questionable decisions he's made in the past with throwing the ball. I don't think it's going to pan out that well.
I guess I think he's a system QB. He was in a good system. The only experience I have watching JJ McCarthy is national championship. I watched the Alabama-Michigan game, and then I watched his highlight reel. So that's the only experience I have. But he was a system quarterback, very run heavy, had an amazing coach. I think he's going to be a backup for 2 years and out of the league.
Yep, me too.
I think this is I give it a D. I give this a D.
I give it a C.
I think they reached. I think the Vikings reached on this one.
Yep. Well, they traded like 2 second-round picks to the Jets for it, just to move up one spot because it was going to go the Jets at 10, Vikings at 11.
Wow.
And the Vikings moved in front of the Jets for just to do that. They could have waited, although at the same time, who knows? Maybe they were in a bidding war with a different team to move to 10. I don't know, but they gave up a lot to move up one spot and draft this kid.
That's
We'll
crazy.
see. C for me.
I'll let Chris announce the next pick because I don't want to mess up this guy's name.
With the 11th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Olu Fashanu, a
Penn State.
6'6", 312-pound offensive tackle out of Penn State University. A+.
So, no idea anything about this guy. Did not expect him to go. Because I didn't even hear about this guy. Because I did a lot of I looked at a lot of pre-draft stuff. Never saw this guy on anyone's board. But I'll give the pre-draft analysis. So tape didn't quite meet lofty expectations 2023. Injury cut short his workout at the combine, where they expected to see him stand out. Had tools to develop into an elite pass blocker. He's quick and long enough to take away the edge. He's only 6'6". I mean, that's still massive, but we just saw 6'9" offensive tackle previously. Has good foot speed, mirrors his legs well. He's good when he's caught out of position. If I don't know anything about this guy, going to the Jets. I'm I guess I'm a second Jets fan. I'm a Bengals fan, but I do have a little bit of love for the Jets.
He didn't give up a single sack, and he was Big Ten offensive lineman
All
of
right,
the year.
He's gonna be the next Joe Thomas, but for the Jets, he's gonna be 15 years in the league. This is a A pick.
I think just for the fact that the Jets signed Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith, even if he doesn't start this year, he's going to be great depth. And because maybe he might not start, so he's going to have a lot more tread in his tires, I think this guy's going to spend a decade and a half in the league. Maybe not on the Jets, maybe not the entire time, but he's definitely going to be in the league for a decade and a half, and he's going to be great at whoever.
I'm just
he
glad
ends
the
up
Jets
with.
are going out of their way to protect A-Rod. I just want to see A-Rod. I just want to see A-Rod go crazy with the Jets.
With the depth they had last year at offensive line, they needed this pick. They couldn't have picked anybody else.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. With the 12th pick, the NFL Draft, the Broncos select Bo Nix out of Oregon, quarterback.
Oh, my goodness.
Bo Nix, man, he's had a crazy college career all over the place.
And it's been crazy long.
Yeah, it has been. How old is he?
Oh my goodness! You need to Google this. I feel like I was a junior high watching this kid, man.
Yeah, Auburn, right?
Because Auburn when he beat Oregon, that is freshman.
24
sophomore
years
year.
old.
Oh my goodness!
He's the same age as my sister. My sister graduated forever ago. She's old.
Yeah.
February 25th, 2000 was his birthday. Dude, that's crazy. His last year at Auburn though was crazy.
Great career at Oregon.
Great career at Oregon. Yeah, I love watching this guy at Oregon. I also just love Oregon's uniforms and the university. It's so crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Now it sucks. The QB room for the Broncos is Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is going to start. The other two guys are
Puds.
horrible.
Jarrett
But,
Stidham
yeah.
had glimpses with the Patriots, but sucked for. Then he was at the Raiders and he sucked, right? He was with the Raiders and was terrible. Zach Wilson, I'm sorry, bro, your career's been over.
He was horrible too. Zach Wilson benefited from a run-heavy team.
Yeah.
But when Breece Hall went down 2 years ago, it really showed it reared its ugly head. Although Zach isn't an ugly guy, but it reared its ugly head that they can't throw the ball.
But I feel bad for Bo Nix's mother having that QB in that quarterback room.
I give this an F. I think Bo Nix is out of the league within 4 years.
I think if you went to a different team, man, the Broncos are just not set up for success at all.
No,
I mean,
they
they're still paying Russell Wilson. You know.
Yeah.
I see Bo Nix getting maybe. I'm gonna think highly. I'm gonna go up with it. I give him 2 or 3 seasons with the Broncos, kind of like a Zach Wilson thing, and I think he's out of the league. I see another Zach Wilson kind of.
Yeah.
Because I mean he's old. He had a great college career, but it was sporadic at times. But I mean he also had. I mean I'm not gonna read out the records, but just say some of the records he has here and some of like the different percentages that he holds, whatever. But yeah, I see a Zach Wilson kind of career here.
As a rebuilding team, you can't pick a quarterback. You got to go elsewhere, get a game-breaking receiver. Although there's not really many receivers left. Brock Bowers from Georgia was still on the board. They could have gotten Dallas Turner, Latu. They could have went any other direction. They should not have picked QBs.
It does suck though, because like, I mean, there wasn't all the extreme talent was kind of gone. Except, I mean, like the Brock Bowers. I said Brock Bowers and stuff, but some of the top picks, man, like that the Broncos really could have used were already gone. Like the 3 best, I think the 3 best receivers that stood out were already gone.
Yeah.
Like you're really reaching with anything else. I mean, this was a reach too, but
they should have went with those other guys. I just this guy I'm F is not gonna go well.
Yeah, it sucks. All right, with the 13th pick in the draft, Brock Bowers out of Georgia to the Raiders. You can't go wrong with this guy.
No,
this
A+.
This guy is the next Gronk, man. Like this guy's gonna go crazy. 6'3", 243. Not the biggest guy at tight end,
but just check out his highlights.
Watch him play ball.
He
dude.
was the Marvin Harrison equivalent at tight end. That guy just took over games. He was a game breaker to the fullest extent of the meaning.
Yeah, and what's great too is you can put this guy, in a trio set, in a trip set, a double set. I mean, he can play slot. He can play right next to the line. He can block in the run game. This guy is like you put George Kittle and Travis Kelce together, in my opinion.
Well, that's what they're going to have in LV. Who has ever called Vegas LV? Anyways, in Vegas, they're going to have that 2 tight end set because remember they got Michael Mayer from Notre Dame from last draft. I think they're going to have a heck of a tight end room with Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers there in those 2 tight end sets.
Who's in the backfield for the Raiders? Is it still Josh Jacobs, or is he gone?
He's gone. I don't remember. The only question mark is, I mean, at this point, really, unless if they're horribly bad, anybody can play running back nowadays because that's just the state of the league.
Yeah. Well, who's playing QB for the
Aiden O'Connell, AOC. That's the only question mark there, man. Aiden O'Connell, he had his moments. Granted, he did have his moments in Vegas last season, but let's see if he can pull it together for an entire season because that was only half a season. But I do love Aiden O'Connell as a player, though. I love the underdog story. Coming out of Purdue.
The depth right now: Zamir White, Alexander Madison.
That's probably who's going to start.
Amir Abdullah and Dylan Labe.
Amir Abdullah is still in the league?
Yep. Abdul.
Wow.
Yeah, the QBs are Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. I love Gardner Minshew. I love when he's good.
It's going to be between those 2 guys for the starting job.
Yeah. I actually have no idea who Aiden O'Connell is.
Oh, update. Najee Harris. Steelers just declined his 5th-year option.
Who?
Najee Harris.
Oh, wow. Back. But did he have a down year?
No. He's had 1,000 yards, I believe, every single season, but that's just state of running backs now.
Running backs, yeah. Yep. That's why I feel, dude, we literally let Joe Mixon go to the Texans, but, like, Joe Mixon took a pay cut to keep some of the other players on the team, and like last season. I feel so bad. He was so bought in, and the Bengals screwed him over.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. We're not going to talk. We're talking about draft. 14th pick. Say his name.
I don't know how to say it.
Talise Fuaga. He's Hawaiian. Out of Oregon State, 6'6", 324. I mean, an offensive tackle pick for the Saints. I don't know how the Saints are doing. I don't keep up with the Saints ever since Drew Brees has been gone. I love Taysom Hill, though. If I play you guys in Madden, it'll be Taysom Hill, QB. You
I think
know,
he's going to be good. Solid 8 years.
so he's a good run blocker, has good strength, moving defenders off the ball.
Yeah.
Buries defenders great off the whistle.
6'5", not the tallest offensive tackle,
Says
but
6'6" on ESPN.
oh, well, I'll trust that because it's ESPN. On here it says he could potentially, with his size, he could potentially be moved to guard. So I don't really know too much about this kid, but he's got pretty decent size.
The ESPN said it's a slight reach. The Saints have other options to tackle, so it wasn't a very good pick on the board. But I don't really know, so I'm gonna agree with ESPN on reach, and I'm gonna give this guy 5 years in the league.
I'll give it B-. Because
Oregon State,
Saints always need tackles.
absolutely, but Oregon State, I mean, do they really produce? You also gotta think of that, the systems they play in and what the competition is, of course.
Yeah.
All right, with the 15th pick in the NFL draft, edge rusher, Latu.
Latu.
What a terrible name. Out of UCLA, 6'5", 259. This guy's highlights went crazy.
Oh, the A+. Colts could. I believe the Colts got the best defender in the draft. A+. When you have the best defender in the draft, regardless of what you need, you pick the best defender in the draft. 6'4", 259. Great size as a defensive end, as an edge rusher. They couldn't have gone any better at this pick.
I think if you look at this guy's highlights, I mean, he proved himself well at UCLA. Now, my only concern is, I mean, UCLA played some solid competition, but my only concern is he's coming out of UCLA. I just got to bring up the college
from
pick.
the Pac-12.
I just got to bring up where he came from, but I mean, he played way above his competition anyways. Even ESPN says they have it above an Alabama edge rusher, Dallas Turner. They have him ranked above. They say this is a perfect pick for the Colts. I love the pick. I love the way he plays. I love his highlights. I saw tons of stuff on Instagram. But yeah, that's my only concern. I see a good 8-year career out of him.
Yep. I think if any defender wins Rookie of the Year,
Maybe him.
I do believe there is a defensive Rookie of the Year.
I think he's the Marvin Harrison of like edge rushers. Like I think he is elite talent.
I think he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah. With a 16th pick, Seahawks select Byron Murphy, the second out of Texas D tackle.
6 foot, 297 as a defensive tackle. That's not big enough, man. In the NFL, you got to be well over 6
This
foot to
guy,
play defensive tackle.
I keep saying that on Instagram. This guy was the most I've seen on Instagram. Like this guy, I can't get him off my feed. He was like the phone call with the Seahawks and like all of his highlights. I cannot get him off. So I'm assuming he's a great player. So I'm gonna say screw his size. D tackle. Hey Duke. Duke was 5'8" and Duke was balling up. Shout out Mount Union Duke. He was balling out. I would say screw the size. This guy, it was all over my feed. He looked great. Coming out of Texas too. Texas, great history, great football. So I'm gonna give him a 6-year career in the league. I think he's gonna be average though. I think he's gonna be a role player in whatever system he finds himself in. But let me see. Post draft says he's the best interior defender in this year's draft.
I don't know. I'm gonna give this pick a C. I'm gonna give him 5 years. But probably longer. He'll find himself from team to team. I'll give him probably 7, 8 years. But
I think his size will screw him over.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I think his talent alone is gonna help him out. But have you seen a lot of highlights on this guy? I mean, I only saw the highlights.
I haven't seen anything from this guy.
See, I've seen so much on my Instagram page. But moving on to the 17th pick. Go ahead, Chris. You go ahead and announce the 17th pick.
With the 17th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Dallas Turner, a 6'2", 247-pound outside linebacker. This website has listed from Alabama. I give this pick an A because he was the second best defensive player behind Latu in my eyes. So I think he's going to have a great 10-year career. Regardless if that's from Minnesota or he goes to a different team, I think he's going to be great as an edge rusher.
And he runs a 4.46.
Yeah, that's really fast.
4.46 at 6'3", 247.
As an edge rusher.
Dude, I feel bad for any QB.
I think he's going to be great.
I'm gonna give him an 8 to 9 year time in the league. I think he could be crazy. And the Vikings run a 4-3 defense. Oh, it's over. If you run a 4-3 defense with him at the edge, oh boy.
Yeah, he's going to be great.
And he played for Bama. And Bama's defense is always electric, always insane.
And he played against the best of the best in the SEC. Always got to take that into account.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up the thing I always bring up. Proud of you, Chris. Yeah.
That's something we got to go to, though. We definitely got to go experience because they always say an SEC football game is unlike anything you'll ever experience.
Dude, we got to go.
Yeah.
Leave a comment, leave a like if you want to see the Bench My podcast. Go to an SEC football game.
Which SEC team do you guys want to see us do a vlog at? Let us know in the comments.
I want to go to Tennessee so bad.
Oh, my goodness. It's between Tennessee and Bama. But Tennessee, man, just that stadium, how it just sits on the edge of the river, that campus in the mountains, it looks beautiful.
Yeah. The atmosphere always looks insane on TV.
Oh, man. I just a night game in Tennessee, dude.
Being crazy.
Yeah. But this is a draft video, so.
Quit talking. With the 18th pick, the Bengals select Amarius Mims. I love this pick. Amarius Mims is crazy. Dude, he was bodying people. I think he's the best. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the draft.
Really?
It's a hot take. I know I'm a Bengals fan, but this was an A+++ pick. I'm giving the Bengals bonus points. This guy is going to have a 10-year with us. He's going to be the Bengals. He's going to be a Bengals franchise. He's like Anthony Munoz. He is going to be with the league in the league for a long time. He's with the Bengals for a long time. 6'8", 340. Go watch his highlight. Get off this video. Screw over the watch hour. Screw this video. Go watch his highlights right now and then come back. I'm telling you, this guy, he was just playing a different brand of football at Georgia.
A+ for this pick from me. 6'8", 340 pounds from Georgia, SEC. He's blocking the best of the best. Faced Dallas Turner. Did pretty well against him, too. I think he was the third best offensive lineman in this draft behind Fashanu and
You're
Joe
so silly.
Alt.
You're so silly.
But the race is definitely I think it's Joe Alt. Then it's then a huge gap. Then it's close between Fashanu and Mims. But I think Mims, I give this pick an A+. He's going to have a heck of a career, regardless of where he goes after his rookie contract is up. I think Cincinnati Bengals are going to have a great franchise tackle blocker for Joe Burrow.
Absolutely, and that's what we need. We really do need a good lineman like him. I'm so excited for him to be playing for us. With 19th pick, LA selects the Rams. Sorry, Jared Verse out of Florida State edge. No, I have no idea about this guy. He's 6'4", 254. That's a great size.
Solid B. They needed this pick because Aaron Donald retired. So they definitely need somebody just filling in for him. And I think this kid from Florida State, one of the best defenders in the ACC, I think he's going to be good. I'm going to give him probably 7-8 years with the Rams alone. I think he's going to be a good fill-in for Donald. Won't be as dominant, but the holes that would have been there if they didn't address this position quickly. They will not be there. They will not be as prevalent.
The post-draft analysis says he's going to be an ideal day one starter for him. Because I guess they're going to partner him up with Byron Young from last year's draft.
I agree.
So, yeah, they say he needs to fill in Aaron Donald's shoes. So
solid B. Couldn't go wrong with this pick.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to agree with Chris on this one. With the 20th pick, Steelers select Troy Fautanu out of Washington, offensive guard. No idea anything about this guy. 6'4", 317.
C+. Michigan ate him up in the national championship game, and in my opinion, if you're going to be in the league, the national championship game, it's going to be every week, man. It's like you can't just blow it on the biggest stage because that's going to be your weekly life every single week, and he just blew it against guys that, at least for as far as my knowledge goes, didn't get drafted until like later rounds. But those guys were just pushing him around the entire game of the national championship.
And he's really small.
Yeah, and he's really, really undersized.
He's really small. That's a big concern.
I see him lasting about 6 years.
2 seasons.
I don't. Maybe not that, but as Steelers, they always have great offensive lines. I bet they move him to guard, and he'll make a career out of a guard.
He might be like a lifelong backup or like fill-in guy.
Yeah.
All right. 21st pick, Chop Robinson, Dolphins, Penn State, edge rusher.
Big Chop, Pork Chop. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up, if he already has that nickname, Pork Chop.
That'd be hilarious. Never mind. 6'3", 254.
I give this pick a B+, because they needed somebody to fill in for Christian Wilkins. He left this past offseason. They need someone to fill in for Bradley Chubb to get healthy. I think he's going to be a good addition to the Miami Dolphins defensive line. 6'2", a little undersized, but 250. I've seen a little bit of this kid as a defensive end. 4'4", 8 40. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to fill in great on this defense.
One thing I saw was that he was a solid pass rusher, but like they said that he's probably the most comfortable in like drop back coverage if they needed an edge rusher to drop back in coverage.
Yeah.
And they said that he's probably the most comfortable in the draft. That's something I saw about him.
Yeah.
So, and the Dolphins, they always run a crazy playbook on offense and defense. So, who knows what they might do with him. Also, having the name Chop, if it's that swagger of that head coach. So,
Yeah.
I'll give it an A minus. I'll give it A minus B plus. 22nd pick. Oh, shout Maction. Maction football. Quinyon Mitchell, the Eagles out of Toledo. This guy, okay, this is my only concern, dude. He's 6'1", 195, corner, right?
Average size for a DB.
I love the way he was playing the MAC. I love it. I love it. He got ate up at the Senior Bowl. He got sauced up. The Senior Bowl, he got ate alive. I think I saw 2 highlights at the Senior Bowl, but when he went up against like Power 5 receivers, even just guys I've never even heard of,
Got cooked.
ate alive. I don't know how he got dropped in the first round. No hate on the guy. Love that a MAC school is being represented. You know, Toledo, Ohio, love it. But first round, he ate. I mean, his stats do speak for themselves, and he did play some solid competition at Toledo. I mean,
not really. I mean, people
not
don't.
even
people don't.
non-conference.
People don't look at the MAC as a place to value.
Well, I'm saying non-conference games.
I don't know who they played non-conference. To be honest with you,
I looked it up. I literally looked it up. Toledo. We're gonna take time here for this, but we do need to hurry.
There's a little intermission here.
Little intermission. How's your guys' day going? You guys subscribe to see if they click the subscribe button while we're waiting on this. You know, just click the subscribe button.
If you made it this far already, comment 419 in honor of Toledo, Ohio. Comment 419.
Shout out. 2024. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I mean 2023. Oh shoot.
I do like this pick though for the Eagles. I think he's going to be a great compliment to James Bradbury and other guys they got. I don't think he's going to be DB1, and I don't think he's going to be DB2. I think he's going to be a great nickel back.
Didn't the white corner in Iowa go to the Eagles too? And then they also got Darius Slay.
He did.
It'll be interesting back.
I think Mitchell will be a great nickel back. A great nickel packages, dime packages. You can't go wrong with that. I think that's where he's going to shine.
Toledo last year played Illinois, Texas Southern, San Jose State, Western Michigan, Northern Illinois, UMass, Ball State, Miami, Buffalo, Eastern Michigan, Bowling Green. Dang,
not good competition.
Maybe I looked at their pre-2022 schedule on accident. What did I look up?
But Mitchell, I think he's going to be fine though as a as a DB3, DB4.
The Senior Bowl just worries me. Going up against like Power 5 receivers I never even heard of. Yeah. You know, like I don't know.
We'll be rooting for him though. No hate on the guy.
Absolutely.
Love seeing guys from the MAC get drafted. Love seeing guys from the 419 get drafted.
Absolutely.
We got to root for our Ohio guys.
Absolutely. I am excited. I'm not rooting his downfall. I hope he has a 10-year. I hope he's like Richard Sherman, plays for way too long.
I give this pick a B plus because the Eagles didn't need a DB, but they solidified their DB core. So I give it a B plus. I think he's going to have a solid 8-year career with the Eagles.
I think it's a reach. I think Quinyon Mitchell would have fell further in the draft, so I think it's a reach. I'm gonna give it a C. I think he would have been there for the second or third round.
Well, people had him going in the second round to Detroit, actually.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's kind of where I think he'd be at, second or third round. Anyways, 23rd pick, Brian Thomas Jr. at LSU to the Jaguars. Receiver.
As a pick that
6'3", 209, by the way.
Trade with Minnesota through the Cleveland Browns from the Houston Texans. So this is a lot of stuff went into this.
Yeah. He ran a 4.33 40.
Yeah. 6'2", 209, not too bad.
4.33.
He complimented Malik Neighbors at LSU, so that's another thing. So all the attention was on Neighbors. So maybe he was doing one-on-one ISO coverages with LSU, but
I know he was like their kind of big man receiver. It was kind of like their DK Metcalf. Like when they needed like a 50-50 ball, it was his ball. You know, they threw it his way.
Yeah, led the nation with 17 touchdowns though. I mean, stats are stats, man. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, and keep in mind he's competing with Neighbors. He was competing for those touchdowns, that receiving yards.
I think he'll be competing for wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. He's definitely going to start, but I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 1. I do believe that's going to belong to
Wayne Ruby,
Calvin Ridley, or what was the other? Christian Kirk. He's going to be either a wide receiver 2 or 3.
Jaguars are definitely doing the right thing, giving Trevor Lawrence some weapons. They got some good weapons.
I give it a B.
I agree with that. I agree with the B. 24th pick, Lions select Terrion Arnold, Alabama. Love this pick. This guy is talented. This guy can play some football. Love it.
They needed a DB after losing their top DB from last season. Can't go wrong with this pick.
I love how lanky he is, but he's still like a really tough corner, but he's so lanky.
This is the pick I think the Eagles should have went with.
Absolutely. This guy was definitely the best corner on the board.
I give it an A-. I think he's gonna have a fine career with Detroit.
I give it an A. I think he's gonna have a 5, 6, 7 year career. I think he's gonna do good stuff. 25th pick. Packers select Jordan Morgan, Arizona.
Jordan Morgan. What?
Jordan
It
Morgan.
sounds like it
Jordan
rhymes. I wish it was Jorgen Morgan. It
Jordan,
sounds like
Jordan
it
Morgan and
rhyme.
Jordan Morgan.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that lawyer commercial, like Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan. 6'5", 311, offensive tackle. He's kind of on the smaller side, you know.
I think he'll be a guard.
But Arizona was crazy this last year. They were good. They were good.
It's a Pac-12 team though.
I'm gonna give him a lifelong backup. I think he's gonna be a lifelong backup. I think he's gonna be a filler guy in the league. I think this was a reach by the Packers.
I give it a B-. They already got David Bakhtiari, but David Bakhtiari, he's pretty injury prone. He's super old too. He's not really washed. I wouldn't say he's washed. He's still putting up great numbers at left tackle, but need depth. You need depth when he gets hurt. So I think he's going to be pretty solid at that.
Yeah.
B- for me.
26th pick, Buccaneers select Graham Barton out of Duke.
I don't know anything about
Nothing about this guy, and he's coming from Duke. It's definitely a reach for me, just because he came from Duke.
They already got Tristan Wirfs out at left tackle. It's a depth pick. I'm going to give it a C+.
I'm gonna give it a D, D-.
D-.
No, that's
wow.
Duke does not produce nothing. I'm sorry, Duke, but no, you produce good students. Sorry. 27th pick, the Cardinals select Darius Robinson, Missouri edge rusher. I saw some highlights on this guy. Saw some talk about him. I think it's a good pick.
It's okay.
6'5", 285. That is huge for an edge rusher.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big edge rusher.
I think in the Arizona defense, they did not do that well last season. So any defensive lineman, it all starts up front with the defensive lineman when you're trying to build a good defense. So I give this pick a solid B-. It's good. You couldn't go wrong with this pick.
Absolutely. So we're running out of time here, and we have 5 picks left to go through. So we're just going to bang this out, saying our grade and what the length is of their career, and we'll wrap up the video. So 28th pick, Chiefs, Xavier Worthy, receiver.
A+. He's going to be the next Tyreek Hill, and he's going to last for 8 years.
This was crazy. S40 was crazy. I loved his combine. 4.21. This man's crazy.
Why do you have to end up with the Chiefs? I hate the Chiefs so much.
Yeah, he got number 1, by the way. He wore number 1 jersey. He's going to rock it well. Give him A.
Tyreek Hill.
29th pick, Cowboys like Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma offensive tackle. Love this pick. I think this is a great pick. 6'8", 322, Oklahoma. Great football over there. Love this pick. Saw some highlights. And also, he's a really good kid. Love him. Yeah. Pick 30, Ravens select Nate Wiggins, Clemson, corner. No idea anything about him. Runs a 4.3 40. Oh, ran 4.28 at the combine. I'm sorry. 4.28 at the combine.
Not much help with run stopping, but as a DB, that's not really your main priority.
Clemson plays good ball, though. He's 6'1", 173. Kind of on the smaller, but good size for a corner. I mean, I'd say average, not good.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I'll give him a 2-year, 3-year time in the league. Ravens is always they have a lot of talent right now, so I don't know. He might be a career backup kind of guy. I don't know.
He'll be a DB3 or DB4, nickel or dime.
Absolutely. I don't know why. I don't know. I think the Ravens could have got somebody else. Anyways, 31st pick, the Niners select Ricky Pearsall, Florida receiver. I love this pick. I love this guy. He made that crazy one-handed snag. This guy has glimpses of greatness. Literally what I talk about. 6'1", 189. He's kind of a smaller guy, 6'1", 189, but he can play on the slide, he can play on the outside. He did great things at Florida. That Florida team was not very good. Love this pick.
I give it a B+. I think he's going to be I think I'm going to have to buy in with the media because people are talking about they're going to be trading either Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk. So I think Ricky Parcell is going to be great for a solid 7-8 years. He's going to be wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, taking over for whichever wide receiver they choose to trade away.
This is probably just my favorite receiver in the draft. I mean, I love Marvin Harrison. He's the best, but this is my personal favorite. I'm really excited to see how his career plays out. I just really like watching this guy at Florida. Yeah. I don't watch a lot of college highlights, but when I do, it's Ricky. 32nd pick, Panthers like Xavier Leggett,
maybe
Leggett, South Carolina wide receiver, 6'1", 220. That is a big man.
Big, fast, and physical. I think I watched a game with him. I think it might have been I don't remember who they were playing, but my goodness, he looked like DK Metcalf out there. He looked like the Incredible Hulk with his big muscles out there, dude.
He ran a 4.39 40. That's crazy. 6'1", 220, and ran a 4.39. This guy's terrifying. Don't know anything about his stats.
Intimidating.
But I would love to see another DK Metcalf in the league. I would. So, great pick for the Panthers. The Panthers they need to give Bryce Young some weapons. Love it. So I don't know
Give it
anything
a
about
B.
him. Sure, I'll give it a C plus just because I don't know his highlights, but I like his size. I'd love to see another DK Metcalf.
And they're keeping him in the Carolinas, so he's
Yeah.
kind of gonna have the hometown crowd with him.
Yeah, so that might add some like momentum to going to propel him into his NFL career. All right, guys, that was our draft analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed. We have the Michigan Panthers game coming up Sunday as we're recording this video.
On Cinco de Mayo,
May
May
5th. May 5th. Is Cinco de Mayo close to you, Chris? Is it a close feeling to you?
no.
He said no. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you boys watching. Please check us out on Instagram. Link in description. We have tons of content coming this summer. I am not working at the pizza place where I made content previously. I am focusing strictly on media. I actually might have a job lined up with my university working on media. I'm still working for Pack Money Benny. I might be his editor. We're working things out, working out the kinks and everything. But, your boy is going all in on this media stuff. He's going to make CF3 happen, make this into a career, make this into a job opportunity. I love this. I love making content for you guys. I appreciate everybody that made through this video this far. But stay tuned. We got tons of games coming. Me and Chris are going to a couple games this summer. We're going to be lifting together, so stay tuned for lifting content. So, really excited. Chris, do you have any closing thoughts?
Lots of great things happening this summer. Check us out on Instagram. What is it? Bench2_Mike.
Bench_2_Mike.
We'll get it.
We'll get it eventually. This is why I always shout out the tags. We also got business cards now. So, we're more official.
Yeah.
So we'll be handing those out at games, hopefully to get more recognized. Get some more opportunities. We're trying to make this a real thing, guys. We're really going all in, and we appreciate everybody that's tuning in, supporting us, and especially the podcast and the vlogs.
But check us out on Instagram. We just posted the official
Summer
not
calendar.
official summer calendar. Maybe we'll add stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't. We'll see. But as of right now, where it stands, these are the games that are set in stone for the summer.
So please go check it out. Link in description. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys are new, we love having new people come on the podcast. Check out the channel. But we also appreciate the long-term subscribers, man. We really appreciate. We love you guys.
Have a great day or night or afternoon, morning, wherever you are or whenever you are watching. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your morning or night or day.
Or enjoy your workout. Peace.